We have in our midst Shri Aditya Gaiha sir, who is Chief General Manager in charge of Foreign Exchange Department. So I'll request him to kindly address the participants before we go to the keynote speaker. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you.
So, good evening and namaskars, and congratulations to FEDAI on its 8th annual day celebrations. And I'm sorry, I'm really not even dressed for the day, neither am I prepared with a speech, because I was asked, and in my enthusiasm I said yes. So I will just take you across with some developments which have happened in the last couple of years, which are very important for us in the foreign exchange market. And especially with regard to the reference points that we have today in terms of the kind of international global developments, the kind of uncertainty we have, the kind of tariff wars and all that's going on. Every day we keep pace with that on a daily basis. So now, going on to some of the things which we are trying from the Reserve Bank, especially the Foreign Exchange Department, we have been following a certain trajectory in the last 6-7 years. Which is towards making the regulatory framework more rational, more simple. And towards that end, you would have seen that the first thing that we did and we brought out was the liberalized way in which we like to deal with trade transactions. And we were very thankful for all the feedback we got for the trade regulations, draft trade regulations, which we placed in public opinion, public view twice. We got a good feedback on that, and probably say 1 or 2 months down the line, we should be able to kind of activate that and then bring it into force in 9 months. Now, what is the basic thing that if you look at the kind of rationalization, liberalization process that we are following, especially with respect to trade and even other things which are in the pipeline, like the NDI rules, the external commercial borrowing and all, you will see the basic crux is that we are going to depend a lot on how the authorized dealers, the authorized persons are going to deal with each and every transaction, especially with respect to the compliance part and providing the ease of doing business. And that is where we are finding there are issues, because we have been involved with the supervisory process in a closer way in the last 1.5-2 years. Some of you will be aware now that with respect to the teams which come from the Department of Supervision, there are members from the Foreign Exchange Department who are also accompanying them to have a look at the sample of foreign exchange transactions and come up with issues. And the primary motivation for that was that we were observing a large number of people coming to us for compounding of contraventions. And many a time, they were not knowing the exact picture, even though the transactions were being put through AD banks. And we felt there is a great disconnect between what is actually to be done and not. So this is one thing which I would like to request all our members as FEDAI members, authorized dealers mostly, that this is a focus area where we have to increase our capacity building and understanding with respect to the extent FEMA guidelines, because a large number of violations every day we are observing. People are coming for compounding. At the same time, we find that banks are not taking care of the things that they should have. So when we look forward to liberalizing and rationalizing the guidelines, we are looking forward to a more participative kind of involvement of the authorized persons and authorized dealers, especially banks, because as you know, the most important thing that we are dealing with is capital account transactions. Capital account transactions are only dealt with by the AD banks, AD category 1 banks, so more responsibility is going to come onto you. And the next thing which I'd just like to mention in terms of the trade, the next thing I'd like to mention is in terms of the internationalization of the INR. And this is something which I know that from every forum we keep talking about it. But practically at the ground level, we need two things. One, Indian banks need to step up their international presence across the globe. Indian banks need to become international, multinational banks like, say, HSBC, Citibank and all, some of whose members will also be here with us in FEDAI. Because when we are going ahead and trying to put through INR internationalization, we find the gap. When we are going to UAE, when we are going to Sri Lanka, when we are going to Maldives, Mauritius, wherever we have signed local currency arrangements, we are finding that the presence of Indian banks is not to the extent it should have been. And the understanding of the internationalization part of the INR also, there is a lot of gap which we need to cover up. So this is something which I'll request all of you as FEDAI members to step up. And we had a huge liberalization process happened in January this year, where we allowed INR accounts outside India. We allowed foreign currency accounts outside India for exports. And they are very big capital account convertibility issues here involved. And therefore, all the more care has to be taken by AD banks in dealing with them. But not only that, they have to develop products now. The basic thing is products need to be developed by the AD banks to increase the international use of INR. And believe me, this is a thing which in the long run, 10 years from now, is going to hold us in good stead against the kind of geopolitical and economic upheavals we are going through today. The kind of upheavals we are having in terms of the global uncertainty and the fact that people are saying that, dollar is losing its responsibility as a global currency because, US is taking unilateral actions. That dependence on hard currencies, convertible currencies, we will have to kind of balance it out by using local currencies. And many countries are ready to do it, but we need banks to step in, provide products, provide specific requirements of so many people, including for remittances. We all know India is the largest country in the world receiving global remittances. 130 billion global remittances have come to India the last year. And the cost of these remittances, if you look at it, is very high, especially that which is happening through the banking system. This is what the World Bank report says. And we have a large number of global Indian diaspora who wants to remit to India, and this requirement of now allowing an INR account outside India is going to be something where banks can step in, develop products, and allow those remittance products to happen at a very, very low cost. So these are a couple of things I thought I'll say. I'm not a regular speaker, but I came here just to say a few things which I thought I can communicate to you, because a good forum we have where we have all our AD banks here who can actually take it back and, to their compliances and to their business set of people and communicate that. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the evening. And as I said, congratulations to FEDAI on their 8th annual day. Thank you.